I'm Evgueni Tzvetanov, Chair of the Gateway Product Working Group, Co-Chair of Prpl Security Working Group, and Tech Lead of Prpl and OS and System Architect in Verizon's Device Technology Department in the broadband team. I am glad to present to you the Prpl Open Source Gateway. It is a concept of common business product platform and is supported by all Prpl service provider members. It is also a vision of our future collaboration and evolution of Prpl. Let's see what our gateway goals are. First and foremost is to define a Prpl Open Gateway product, which functions as a premises gateway, whether it's for home or small and medium business. Then we're looking forward to see a unified vision of the product functionality and features through operators' requirements. We would like to also establish a Prpl Open Gateway certification program in order to certify any future product with the features and capabilities that are with guaranteed high quality. And last but not least, to standardize the solution through one of the standard bodies out there, and especially through Broadband Forum, as we are in close collaboration with them. How do we plan to achieve all that? First, we're going to be driving the efforts with all service providers. We will draft, review, and approve common set of service provider requirements which satisfy the business needs for all Prpl service provider members and beyond that. We will link all these requirements from all working groups into a well-architected infrastructure in order to define a complete gateway product. We're going to establish a productive environment for collaboration and tracking of work and progress, and define and publish roadmaps through a system of tools which were recently introduced to Prpl. We're going to also try to attract additional contributions using all aspects of our websites and media like social networking, YouTube, and anything available out there. We're going to engage with the silicon vendors in order to ask them to their new products to comply with a common Linux kernel APIs, or they can provide the means for Prpl to outsource, to upstream to the kernel those APIs. Of course, they don't have to disclose their particular implementation, but if they have the compliance with the common APIs, then their solution is easily interchangeable into different hardware solutions, and also very good choice of solutions out there for service providers depending on features and capabilities of a particular BSP. We would like to finally open source this solution, and open sourcing it through open sourcing it, service providers can use it as a base platform for all of their solutions, and thus complete most of the integration work in advance in a very fast way, and only leave integration of customized solutions particular to a service provider. And let's look now at the architecture of a common service provider concept. We'll be starting with an open shell empty shell for which we will need to have WAN supported. Recently, advances in the WAN interfaces in the broadband allows support of very high speed Ethernet 2.5, 10 gigs, and even further up. 5G wideband, which is one of our prides in Verizon. PON, DOCSIS, and even DSL is widely used still in Europe. But there are all kinds of other WAN solutions, so we want our gateway to be able to support all the possible WAN solutions, hardware solutions out there. We also want our gateway to support the majority of the LAN interfaces like Ethernet, Wi-Fi, but also support of home networking, fiber, and even BLE, serving as a gateway to IoT solutions. And we also want our gateway to have included WAN LAN bridge, routing, and gateway hardware as well. And all that needs to be driven by something, and this is going to be an operating system based on a Linux kernel with a BSP support, and in Prpl, our low-level API and hardware offload and quality of service groups are working in that direction for support of all possible silicon vendors' BSPs out there, and upstreaming a lot of solutions to the kernel. That operating system also will consist of system services, system applications, system and execution environments configurations. All that will be interconnected with inter-process communications, some sort of a messaging bus system, whatever is available for a particular platform. And as an operating system driving the hardware, we can have a complete gateway. But for the service providers, we will have to have device remote management in the form of TR069 with SCS server, ACS server, and recently USP as one of the driving initiatives in broadband forum, and Prpl Foundation is very closely connected with that initiative. So from that perspective, we can consider the gateway as a valid service provider gateway solution. But we need to pay attention also to optimizing the network in order to improve customers' experience and improve our service. Considering the recent advances in the hardware, especially with quite a lot of horsepower and memory available, it is important that we look into expanding the open gateway into a nice, elegant user application ecosystem. And to do that, we will need to have an abstraction layer that allows easy integration of such solutions, whether they're in embedded or containerized form. And speaking of containerization, this is the recent trend into our industry. Quite a lot of user applications are coming into play as such containerized solutions. And as an example, there are security services, there is a home automation, voice assistant implementations, and a bunch of media caching and streaming solutions out there. And the possibilities are endless. And in order to provide all these applications with access levels all the way down to the BSP in order to control the aspects of the gateway that they're designed for, the high-level API group is working towards that as abstraction layer, and along with the low-level API, hardware offload and quality of service, providing the means for that the configuration and optimizing the network with our Prpl mesh group and hopefully the future full scale self-optimized network solution. Our groups are working towards a very nice a gateway solution. But as it is, we need to have a proper control over all the hardware and software layers, which means that we will need a system of lifecycle management, and that system of lifecycle management will work throughout all the vertical layers in the system. The requirements, product requirements and technical requirements which the LCM working group will draft are going to be spread throughout the working groups in order to create the solution necessary to utilize everything that can be in the system and the containerized applications. But all that need to be protected somehow. So we will need our security group to define two aspects of the gateway security. One is the device security itself, and which will provide basically criteria to secure the gateway from bottom to top, including the containerized applications, and defining criteria for access levels. But also it will provide a way or parts of the way to integrate solutions that will expand and enhance the security of the open gateway box. And as a summary, I can state that we have all the bases covered, and I'm looking forward to the future of our open gateway as a model of for many platforms. If we start with our open gateway, how do we define that product implementation? One of the ways is to look into the Prpl WRT working group and their implementation, their reference implementation of the open gateway. Prpl WRT working group is creating a product which can be a base for platform for operating system and a platform to many service providers, and I know for sure that Verizon has taken that road. We are going with Prpl WRT for our next generation platforms. Other such reference implementations are based on RDK, and a number of service providers are also associated with that implementation, but RDK can use our open gateway product requirements in order to comply with the standards that we're going to try to establish, and make their solution also available for more service providers. And looking into the future, we're looking at other such platforms, but that will be based for the other service provider solutions. But we're not excluding all these other solutions to also feed back the open gateway with innovative solutions and expand and augment the requirements in such a way that it will provide a very robust set of requirements and base for certification of a product. And if we saw it as a base for many products, but let's see the gateway as a work convergence point. On one side, we have our product definition for the open gateway, which is coming from the service providers. On the other side, we have all the Prpl working groups working towards their own separate goals. And those goals are also defined by the requirements that are coming from the open gateway product definition. Now, to take all the works from all the working groups and create a solution for that, we will need to create a reference implementation. But we already have a group that's working towards that, and this is the Prpl WRT group. As you can see in that Prpl WRT platform of ours, we have all the working groups mentioned here: the low-level API, the quality of service and hardware offload group, LCM, security group, high-level API, and Prpl WRT, the group that is actually creating that reference platform. But having that platform, let's look outside of the scope of our premises. Let's speak into the future of Open Gateway. If we base our solution to a platform like Prpl WRT, and we have our integrator create the solution for us, we will have definitely a gateway that's Prpl WRT based. But service providers need to have their operational and business support systems integrated into the solution, which means that we will have work done on the side or custom work done always. So why not have operational and business support systems interface designed in such a way so that it will be common for all the service providers in Prpl, or even outside of Prpl, everyone that wants to adapt it. This will speed up the integration efforts and also speed up the launching of products. And also looking into our ecosystem with applications, user applications, containerized solutions, we will need to have a store defined somewhere. Usually that's the cloud, and we will have not only to store those containerized solutions, we will need to have application management and orchestration of them implemented in the cloud. And they have to interface also with the Open Gateway platform. In order to do that, everybody out there is trying to get to a solution on their own. Why not look into Prpl Foundation working towards a solution for common interface for cloud orchestration and application management? And last but not least, every service provider needs to rely on analytics, AI, and processes and data that will be coming from using of the service and recently using of the application ecosystems that are actually plugged into the gateway to create that home control environment. By using the analytics, service providers not only enhance and improve their business, but they improve customer experience by minimizing the service calls, by minimizing the creation of the tickets and finding proactively the possible problems that can occur. So why not have a common interface and common analytics APIs that we can include so that our Prpl WRT platform or any open gateway platform can easily adapt and integrate into such solutions. And I know going out of the box as a conclusion, pun intended, of course, for the box, out of the box, may look complicated, but planning these solutions in the future is going to revolutionize the way we do business and launch products and provide a necessary means to save time and deployment efforts on a larger scale. And my last section is pertaining to standardizing and certifications. If we are looking at Open Gateway as a starting point, we need the operators to be aligned, and this alignment will lead to creating the grounds for certification program through Open Gateway requirements in order to have a certified solution for each product that will be Open Gateway based and certifying the features and the functionality with high quality criteria, which is created in that Open Gateway certification program. In order to do that, we also need to stick to the standards established by standard bodies like Broadband Forum. And we would like our Prpl working groups to not only adapt those standards in their work, but also augment existing and even drive towards new standards depending on the new technologies coming into play and the new supports necessary. And we want to look also outside of our Prpl organization throughout the world for innovations, new technologies that are coming into play and adapted by service provider or in the process of creation, design, and adaptation at the moment. So with all that, we will have a very robust platform that is certifiable and is sticking to the world standards. Thank you very much for your attention. I'm looking forward to the interaction, to the interactive section where I will listen to your comments and we'll try to answer your question.
So here is the first question. How soon can we see the concept shown here to a practical implementation? Is there a roadmap planned for delivering a reference implementation in the face of Prpl work?
Yeah, that's a great question. And recently we had a discussion that actually showed that we as a service provider from Verizon perspective are very serious towards adapting Prpl WRT. And after the first release, there was certain confidence and there was a proof that Prpl WRT can be considered as a platform. Now, I am hoping that with the planning of what we have for our products in Verizon, we will have in parallel a very good roadmap coming in. By the end of the year, I hope to see some planning published already in our tools. Although we have those plannings in different documents, we will have one centralized place where to see them. But also, as I pointed out, Open Gateway would be the concept that we are looking to unite all the working groups and converge their work towards Prpl WRT. So we have quite a lot of progress in different groups, but we want to see that on a larger scale as how this product is shaping up. And I can say that it's shaping up, but it will take some time. Hopefully, by mid next year, we're going to have a product that may have the signature of Prpl WRT. And looking from that perspective, I am sure that once we have that direction and we have the proof that it's going forward, other service providers will follow us and will extend their support for our efforts. And I hope that we will have some more service providers joining, also companies that are presenting different things recently in Prpl and in this forum. I'm hoping that they can also join the Prpl Foundation, not only as a member, but with a very strong, contribution to the code and the work in Prpl. Thank you.
Yeah. No, that makes sense. And also, as time goes, we'll be able to firm up the true roadmap. So I think as we continue to have discussions and people's involvement within Prpl, we'll firm that up and be able to answer that question even more in the future. Awesome. So I'm going to another question. Seems that Open Gateway is not only about the gateway itself, but rather looking into a complex system for a complete service provider solution. So how do you plan to accomplish all of that? Thanks for that question.
I would like to say that this is a grandiose project, but I am confident that Prpl can achieve that. The reason I'm saying that is because I've seen people in Prpl with a lot of skills, not only from architecture and development perspective, but they see also the business means of having support. And when we say carrier grade or service provider grade software, we not only mean the gateway and the premises devices, we mean something that goes out of that box and goes all the way to our OSS, BSS systems and also cloud solutions. And having a separate mathematical apparatus to improve the business means. And yes, I understand that we haven't done the main thing yet, but I am positive in looking forward to see how do we shape that. As well as I can say that there are some efforts in LCM that are exposing already the need for this particular application management and orchestration that I pointed out in my one of the last slides. This talk already outlined the direction, and we want to involve the companies and the teams responsible to go outside of the premises and start working in that towards the cloud solution as well.
All right, I think that was the last question. So Evgueni, thank you so much for that.